right. Good Monday evening, South Carolina Weather Watchers. I'm your meteorologist, Jesse Peterson, and let's go ahead and talk about the weather for your Monday evening going into your future. We have some stuff that we are going to go on and talk about tonight. But before we get into the exact specifics, let's go on real quick and just do a little overview. We're going to talk about some fog tonight, especially east in the coastal areas, lingering patches. Unseasonably warm and mild temperatures continue all the way throughout this week, especially through um, Wednesday, pretty much. Scattered showers / thunderstorms possible as we go throughout potentially tonight into Tuesday and Wednesday, and a strong cold front will bring showers, thunderstorm activity with breezy and gusty winds. All of that being possible as we go throughout this week, and all that we're talking about for tonight. If you have not hit the like button yet, go in and do so. Right now we have around, I don't actually have YouTube pulled up right now. Let me go in and get it. But we most likely have around a good amount of people that have not hit the like button yet. So if you are part of that group, go on and hit the like button if you have not already. Also, make sure you go and hit the subscribe button as well. We are at 713, trying to get to 800. Also, hit the share button. Share with your friends, your family members, your acquaintances, people that you don't even talk to. It is free, and you can change your mind at any time if you want to. And they can also change their mind at any time. So, starting off, what is going on right now throughout the entire U.S.? And we're going to talk about South Carolina on a state level first, but nothing's going on for us. We are nice and dry right now, nothing going on. If we scroll our way out, you can see we do in fact have some rainfall and some thunderstorms, severe weather activity going on over here inside of Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi. I mean, we have severe thunderstorm warnings right now going throughout Birmingham, as Birmingham's about to get hit with 70-mile-per-hour winds. We have a storm over here near Rome, Georgia, about to get hit with 60-mile-per-hour winds over there. Columbus, Mississippi, getting hit with 60-mile-per-hour winds right now. And all of that is going on right now as we speak. And, I said that was going to happen, towards the end of one of the streams as we were talking about the entire U.S. But rainfall continuing. Severe thunderstorm warning just appeared over here in Louisiana as well. But rainfall over here inside of Louisiana, inside of Texas, over here inside of Arizona, they're receiving some rainfall. Rainfall up inside the UP of Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota getting some rainfall and some snowfall, as well as some snowfall in North Dakota, Montana, Pacific Northwest getting some rainfall and some snowfall as well. And then we also do have some cloud cover going on as well. Cloud cover that's going on mainly in the upstate. Not really seeing too much in the Midlands or the Low Country or the PD Grand Straight areas. Mainly just a little bit of the upstate getting it on some cloud cover. And if we go on to look at that cloud cover for the future, you go on and push this forward starting right here off at 8 o'clock p.m. And we're actually going to go back to the 18Z right now. But we start off right here at 8 o'clock p.m. You push this forward, you can see cloud cover moving its way through, and you can see that coastal fog definitely going on, as that's where pretty much said it was going to be, as we said what was on tap. That coastal fog definitely be a bit of an issue. Cloud cover is moving its way in from the west, moving in to South Carolina, and we're pretty much covered. I mean, here's 7 o'clock in the morning right here, cloud cover now making its way through the state. You continue your way all the way through 10 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock p.m. now. Here we are at noon. Cloud cover now moving its way through. But it does clear up a little bit. We have parts of the upstate, parts of the Midlands that have now cleared up. And we clear out a little bit as we even get into 3 o'clock p.m., 4 o'clock p.m., 5 o'clock p.m.-ish or so. And so things start to look a bit better as we go into the evening hours in terms of our cloud cover, but it won't last long. Here we go into Wednesday morning, cloud cover building right back up, and we are just back to where we started on Wednesday here, 2 p.m. Now, what about for our current temperatures? Current temperatures right now, you have around a good 69 in Somerville, as well as 66 in Charleston, 67 inside of Beaufort, 65 in Hilton Head Island, as well as 67 in Georgetown, 66 inside of Conway, 63 in Myrtle Beach, and 62 in North Myrtle Beach, 69 in Columbia, Sumter, Orangeburg, Aiken. Also around a good 68 inside of Hartsville, Florence, Lancaster, 67 in Greenville, Spartanburg, Union, Lawrence, and even 66 in Gaffney, York, Rock Hill, 68 in Clemson and Anderson. High temperatures for today, we have nice conditions right now in terms of our air quality. Good, all 0 to 50 right now. And it looks like that we do not have anybody inside the moderate areas. Don't have anybody inside the moderate areas, so we are looking really good tonight in terms of air quality. Low temperatures for tonight, you have around a good 58 in Greenville, Spartanburg, Rock Hill, 57 in Chirag, Dillon, 59 in Florence and Myrtle Beach, as well as 58 in Georgetown, 57 in Kingstree, and 60 in Charleston and Moncks Corner, 60 Walterboro, and 62 in Hilton Head Island, 60 Aiken and Columbia, 61 inside of Orangeburg as well. High temperatures for tomorrow, you have around a good 80 in Greenville, 82 in Spartanburg, as well as 81 in Rock Hill, 83 in Chirag and Dillon, as well as Florence, 84 Camden, Sumter, 85 Columbia, and 81 in Greenwood, 84 Aiken, and 85 in Barnwell, Orangeburg, Walterboro, 75 in Charleston, and 78 in Hilton Head Island. Now, in terms of our rainfall for the most part, seeming like it's going to be, for the most part, in the upstate, parts of the Midlands, pretty much every region, honestly, I should say, with the 100th of an inch to a 10th of an inch going on from Spartanburg, Anderson, Greenwood, Winsboro, Camden, Sumter, Orangeburg, Walterboro being included, Florence being included, 10th of an inch to a quarter of an inch for Kingstree going on over into Lawrence, and then Columbia could be one of those areas, and somebody may even see a quarter of an inch to a half an inch. Remember, this is throughout the next 24 hours, so this includes tonight going into tomorrow night. The crazy score, if you have no idea what the crazy score is, it is a score that we see how crazy the weather is throughout the entire state of South Carolina. Why are we at a 13 for tonight? Well, mainly because dense fog is definitely possible. Patchy areas of fog developing after midnight / early morning, especially near those coastal areas like we were talking about. Maybe some inland spots, but for the most part, really those coastal areas will be receiving that dense fog. For the most part, no widespread dense fog advisories are active right now or highlighted for tonight, so I don't think that they're going to issue a dense fog advisory potentially. But I think that's really the only reason why. Cloud cover will be building a bit tonight, but I think dense fog is really the only reason why right now we are kind of just up. If that dense fog was not there, we probably would be in the single digits in terms of like the crazy score. SPC outlook for tonight looks like that we are still right now just in that light green zone in terms of thunderstorm activity, which means, if we somehow do see some shower activity going on, it's potentially possible that it could turn into thunderstorm activity. Now, for the most part, it looks like that we're not really going to start to receive that rainfall activity until like after midnight, but so maybe that was just an earlier thing, but for the most part, I don't really see anything in terms of the models right now really showing us any sort of major or any sort of rainfall chance in general until after like midnight. Now, as we get into tomorrow, thunderstorms possible still, upstate, Midlands, low country areas, parts of the Grand Strand, PD areas as well. And then as you go into day 3, this is Wednesday, March the 11th, 2026, we have a marginal risk of severe weather in the very, very far upstate. Now, it is very small in terms of its intensity and all that kind of stuff. It looks like that it's just isolated storm risk that is there for like parts like northern Pickens County, northern Oconee County as well. You have other parts that are still inside of the light green area. That includes areas like Greenville, Spartanburg, Rock Hill, Newberry, going into Greenwood as well, just to the north and west of Columbia. Everybody else, no thunderstorms are really expected for Wednesday. For right now, this area will shift. It will continue to change. So, if you're close to the border of it, don't be surprised if you're actually expanded into it. Now, fire weather, that's not expected at this time. Excessive rainfall. Well, we're not seeing anything here in terms of excessive rainfall either, so I wouldn't have to watch for any sort of isolated flash flood threat. And so as we go on and look at the models now, let's go on and look at that. We start off right here at 9 o'clock p.m. And as we go on and push this forward, we do in fact have some rainfall kind of moving its way through. Again, as I said, as we move after midnight, that rainfall definitely is trying to move its way through. We get to around, right here, 1 o'clock in the morning. right here, and you can start to see that rainfall activity going on throughout parts of the upstate, going on over inside of parts of the Midlands as well as you get into maybe around 3 to 4 o'clock in the morning. And it's relatively light shower activity. It's nothing really too major. It actually does try to move its way over into the low country morning hours. Here's 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, and maybe trying to move its way through there as well. Parts of the PD areas as well. Could be trying to get some rainfall activity 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. Grand Strand areas potentially later as well. And by the time you move all the way through, here's 12 o'clock p.m. noon. Rainfall activity just relatively isolated in nature, maybe in the Grand Strand areas still by noon. But it really moves its way out. I mean, here's 5 o'clock p.m. You're not seeing really anything, mostly dry conditions. As you move into like the nighttime hours, though, 8, 9 o'clock p.m., rainfall activity again is relatively limited to a lot of spots. And as we continue through, here's Wednesday morning, nice and dry. Wednesday afternoon, nice and dry. So that's what we're looking at right now in terms of rainfall activity for our short-term future. So what about the long-term future? Well, we're going to go where we just ended off at Wednesday at 2 o'clock p.m. And as we go in and push this forward, you can see that rainfall activity moving in on Thursday. We've been talking about Thursday for a good little bit now, and that's just because Thursday is the day that we've been talking about for like the past 300 hours at this point. And that is really just because we've been seeing just this line of potential shower and storm activity that may be trying to move through, maybe trying to bring us some cold air. And so that's why I kind of had it bulletin, because it was kind of not really like a big deal, but it's something that could definitely disrupt our warm air, which obviously we're getting right now. And it looks like that it will do that. It will do that. It pushes through. You get this rainfall. You get this storm system right here, bringing thunderstorms, breezy conditions, gusty winds, all of that stuff. And one thing that you continue to see is as it goes on and pushes its way through, it gets dry. High pressure forms, and then we start to receive the cooler air behind it. Now, that cooler air will mainly go through Friday. It will go through Saturday. And we'll look at that air as we continue throughout the rest of the weekend into next week, because I do think that it's kind of interesting to see what happens there. But it does get a bit more active. I mean, here's Sunday at 2 o'clock p.m. We have rainfall potentially going on throughout the state. Even by 11 o'clock in the morning, rainfall still going on throughout the state. You continue all the way through Sunday 8 p.m., 11 p.m., all the way to 2 o'clock in the morning. I mean, you have rainfall potentially on Monday moving its way through. Now, I said the time frame. Probably should not have said the time frame, just because it is 156 hours out at this point. Now, if we continue our way out even more, all the way through 5 a.m., 8 o'clock in the morning, still we continue to push our way off towards the east. It does dry off as you get into Tuesday of next week potentially, and you can really start to see that cold air really starting to move its way in by the time you get into like a Tuesday going into Wednesday. That you see that blue line starting to make its way through. That is cold air right there, pushing that warm air out, and even keeping some of that moisture that you can see down there, kind of keeping it down there and not quite letting it through as much. And it actually does go away a little bit as you go into like the end parts of next week, going into next week Friday, and then as we get into Saturday, Sunday, Monday, seems like a lot drier. But for the most part, I mean, that's 300 plus hours out, so I'm not really looking too far into that right now. I've been saying that this weekend, though, would potentially be a nice weekend. I don't know if Sunday's really looking like that nice weekend that we were originally thinking, or I was originally thinking it to be. But Sunday has some moisture trying to come in. Saturday still looks good. Saturday definitely does look good. But if we go into Sunday, I mean, this is Sunday at 5 o'clock p.m. Let's go back real quick and just see what is going on in terms of the runs. I mean, this is what it looked like yesterday. I mean, just see the difference here. This is how fast it can change in 24 hours. I mean, we were looking at a potential nice weekend, no precipitation, and if we go on and look at the run for today, and you can definitely see that change. You can definitely see that change as we go throughout Sunday. So that's just how quickly stuff can change. I mean, even as 150 hours out, things are still going to change. Things are still going to shift as always, and this could go back to being dry tomorrow night. it could definitely just go back to being dry tomorrow night. I mean, we still have this full week to go through. Still have this full week to go through to watch and see if things change here. Now, if we go in and look at the European model, we have to go in and look at the 12Z real quick. But the European model actually has Saturday maybe being a bit of a rainy day as well. So complete opposite of the GFS. And then even as you go into Sunday, still has some rainfall moving through, has moisture actually coming in with the cold front that potentially could move through going into Monday as well. So the Euro's like the complete opposite. The complete opposite of the GFS, to where the GFS shows dry conditions Saturday, and yesterday showed dry conditions Sunday. European shows something else. But let's go back to the GFS real quick, because I do want to go in and talk about temperatures now. So obviously we know we are warmer than average right now. Everybody knows that. You can go outside right now and feel that we're still in like the high 60s right now. But it won't last forever. We go into Tuesday. We go into Wednesday. Things are, nice. We're 20 degrees above average. We are looking good until we get into Thursday. And that's when things just start to look not so great after a while. Because then we go into Thursday afternoon, potentially. And, that's the timing of the cold front here, according to the GFS. Around Thursday, late morning, early afternoon. Maybe even late afternoon for maybe areas near the coast. But it does right now seem to have a lot of that cooler air, like more like into like the afternoon, the evening time frame now. And then even as you go all the way throughout into Friday, going into Saturday as well, you still have cooler air there, but it's like starting to kind of fade away. It's starting to fade away a little bit. Definitely is. But then as you continue into Saturday, look at this. Warmer air trying to move its way through. You get into Sunday, warmer air starting to move its way through as well. But then the big cold front that we could potentially be talking about, not only for Thursday, but also as we go into like Monday. Look at all this cold air that's trying to move its way through as we get into early next week. Even as we go through Tuesday, we're like 20 degrees below average. We're close to 25 degrees below average in some spots still. Going all the way into Wednesday, going into Thursday. Overall, next week, it just looks like that it is going to be a very, very much cooler week than what we have seen here as we go throughout, the past couple of days. Just a huge flip, just a huge switch that has been flipped as we go into next week. Now, that will, continue its way through. It won't last forever, obviously, as you go into the week after next week. Warmer air may try to move in through there, but that's still 300 plus hours out. And so that's pretty much the temperature breakdown, but what about the actual temperatures? These are just the anomalies. So these are just telling us, are we above average, are we below average? But what about the actual temperatures? Well, we start off here on Monday, 80s. Tuesday, 80s. Wednesday, potentially mid-80s. Wednesday definitely being the warmest, if not one of the, probably one of the hottest days that we've had in a long time, with a lot of us being inside of the mid-80s. For sure. So we'll watch for Wednesday there. But obviously that cold front will move its way through on Thursday. We will start to receive those cooler conditions start to move through. We're not looking at freezing temperatures yet, but we definitely are seeing some cooler than average temperatures down into the 30s, the 40s. You're seeing all of that Friday. Saturday comes along. We're only seeing high temperatures inside of like the low 60s. Saturday comes along, we're still cooler. Sunday comes along, still cooler, but we start to receive some temperatures up into the 80s a little bit. But that major cold front that we're talking about, where we could potentially be 20 degrees below average, is moving through as we get into the next weekend. So that will definitely bring us some freezing temperatures as we go into Tuesday, maybe the 17th, potentially going to that morning of, we will watch for it. But for right now, it looks like that we definitely uh, could be talking about some more freezing temperatures again. And even if we go in and push this forward even more, I mean, look at Wednesday morning. 20s, 30s, not only throughout the upstate, not only throughout the Midlands, not only throughout the PD areas, but potentially the Low Country and the Grand Strand areas as well. I mean, Myrtle Beach could potentially be even below freezing as we go into March 18th. So do not be fooled. I can definitely not stress this enough. We're seeing 80s now. That does not mean we are done with freezing temperatures. That is not what that means at all. We still have more coming, potentially. 200 hours out, things will always change with weather, but if you think that we are, that we don't have to watch for freezing temperatures anymore, that's unfortunately incorrect. As you can see it right here on the models right now that we have it up into the 20s and 30s. Now, everything else past this, I would probably want to go in and check out the ensembles for this, because that is probably the more accurate one to use, as these ones combined members together as we get about 200 hours out. And even, the GEFS has some areas still below freezing by the time we make it into Thursday of next week, potentially. Even after that huge cold area, even the GEFS as well also has freezing temperatures coming by as well. So that's another reason to believe that we are still not done with freezing temperatures yet. But as we get into the week after, we get right back up into the 70s though. And that's pretty much all I have to say here in terms of our that's what we see here in terms of our future. And that's all that I have to say here. So let's go in and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by going on and joining us here at 9 o'clock. Yes, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. So let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. Let me make sure I got the live chat on so I can see everything, just in case I don't miss anything. I'm going to bring this over here real quick. But starting off, we can see right here, starting off with my Aunt Lewis. She was here first tonight. She says, good evening. Everyone, good evening to you. I pray that everyone had a wonderful day. Well, thank you so much for that. My Lou also says today in Georgetown, we started off with some fog, with lots of fog today. And for right now, thank you so much for that weather update as well. I believe there was some fog this morning. Very confusing this morning, waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and it was pitch black outside. Forgot all about daylight saving time. And I thought it was too dark, and then it's at 7 o'clock p.m. the sun was still out, so very, very confused, but obviously we'll get used to it. Mr. Chris says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. My Aunt Lou says our high today was around 79 degrees. 79 degrees. My high temperature today at my house was around a good 82. Right around a good 82. Mr. Chris says, hope everyone had a great day. Well, thank you so much for that. My name says, hello, Jay. A very nice, warm day I enjoyed. Well, thank you so much for that weather update. Mr. Chris has got up to 78 here in Moncks Corner, and my Aunt Lewis says currently it's 67. Mr. Chris says currently it's 70. Right now, where I am, 68 right now. Then as we continue our way down, Mr. Chris says, please remember to go and hit the like button and the subscribe button if you have not already. Also, share with everyone that you know. It's free. And you can change your mind anytime. Helps the channel grow, absolutely. Right now we have around a good 23 people watching and only 8 likes. If you are a part of that group that have not hit the like button yet, go in and do so. It's free and you can change your mind at any time. Milo says, other than fog, it was nice and warm. Mr. Chris says, same here in Moncks Corner. Early fog warmed up nicely. Man says, I need to get the weeds out my rose bed. Well, for tomorrow, I mean, rainfall tomorrow is possible. So you will potentially see that. So, if you are going to do that tomorrow, just make sure you're aware of that. Mr. Anthony said, good evening to you. And then continuing, Mr. Chris said, I need to weed eat around our house as well. Well, it's close. Hope it stays away. For right now, it should. For right now, all that severe weather should not be making it over into South Carolina for, where it is in Alabama and Georgia. Then continue our way down. My Aunt Lewis says, my grandson is still working in Philly, and he said that it's so cold he's ready to go home in Tampa, Florida. I don't blame him at all. That says, good evening, just from the 360 Weather family. Good evening to you. I trust all is well with everyone. Well, thank you so much for that. Trail says, greetings, everyone. And then that said, it was a gloomy day today here in San Antonio. It did get up to 78. Not much yard work today due to the on and off again drizzle. The overcast was extremely thick, preventing the sun from shining. Hopefully the weather will begin to morph back into normal spring weather soon. Well, we'll talk about San Antonio's forecast for your future for you. Chris says, I hope it will be nice to have a baby shower to attend for my son and his girlfriend. Well, hopefully that goes well. And if you're talking about for tomorrow, I mean, like I said, rainfall is still possible there as you go into tomorrow. So we'll see what happens there for the most part. My analyst says, I noticed we will have a cool down, but we will survive. Absolutely. That happens on this Saturday. Okay, on this Saturday. Yeah, this Saturday, I mean, it should be good. Saturday should be good for you. Saturday should be good. Very humid here in Monk's Corner right now. And then my Aunt Liz says, nephew, do you think we have this seesaw weather because of global warming? Well, I mean, I'm not the biggest expert on that type of stuff, so I can't really give you a for sure 100% answer on that. I mean, if you're talking about from like an El Nino or La Nina perspective, that could potentially be linked to it. But, you know, that's not the type of seesaw weather that you're talking about right now. So I think that for the most part, you know, I think that you should probably want to do some research on that because honestly, like I said, I'm not the biggest expert for when it comes to that. But that's all that I can see here right now. So let's go on right now and talk about the 4 locations outside of South Carolina. You might be asking 4 locations. What am I talking about? I'm talking about San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as well as Duncan, Oklahoma. The reason why we talk about these 4 areas is because we have people from these areas who tune in almost nightly. And because they tune in almost nightly, we go in and give them their forecast for them. So starting off with San Antonio first, you have low temperatures tonight at around 69, high temperatures for tomorrow at around 84, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 65. There is a slight chance of thunderstorms tonight. Tomorrow, no rainfall is expected, but patchy fog tomorrow morning potentially, mainly before 10 o'clock. And then Tuesday night, you do in fact have showers. Showers that will be expected. Showers that will be expected. So make sure that you are watching out for that as well. Now, in terms of severe weather, you know, excessive rainfall, stuff like that, let's go and get that a look right now. Looks like for right now, you do have a chance for some severe weather tomorrow, Tuesday, March the 10th, 2026. That is for a 5% chance of damaging winds, 5% chance of damaging hail. All of that is possible for you as you go into tomorrow. So just some isolated damaging wind gusts of up to 60 miles per hour and some isolated hailstones of up to 1 inch is possible. And then for, you know, everything else seems like that you're good there. In terms of excessive rainfall, nothing for day 1. Day 2, you're good. All the way through the next couple of days, you're good. Now, for your future, it looks like that you will continue to actually try and cool down a little bit as you go into Thursday, but Friday comes along, you get up into the 80s. Saturday comes along, you're up into 86. Sunday, you're up to 90 degrees. You know, Monday, you're up into 76. So things will definitely start to go up for you as you go into this weekend. I mean, no rainfall as well. I mean, your last chance of rainfall is going to be on Wednesday, but Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday looks dry for you right now. So this weekend will be nice, and then, you know, you'll be up into the 90s as well. Then for Raleigh, North Carolina, you have low temperatures tonight at around 54, high temperatures for tomorrow at around 81, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 63. Precipitation, not expected at this time. In terms of severe weather for you, looks like that you are good, and then excessive rainfall looks like that you are good as well. Now, in terms of your future, looks like that you will indeed see a bit of a warm-up and then also a cool-down. You're going to be 81 on Tuesday, and then you're going to go up to 86 on Wednesday, but then Thursday, 70, Friday, 62, Saturday, 71, Sunday, 77, and then it's going to drop back down to 68 on Monday. So kind of a seesaw weather pattern in terms of your temperature is going to be up 80s one day, then 70s the next, and 60s the next, and 70s and 60s, in terms of your high temperatures. And those low temperatures will be doing the same thing. I mean, you're going to be seeing 50s on Wednesday night, then you're going to see 30s on Thursday night, 40s on Friday night, then you're going to see potentially back down into or back up into the 50s on Saturday. Then maybe you're going to be back up, maybe trying to get into that 60s as you go into Sunday night. So just a lot of things just going back and forth, back and forth. Next chance of rainfall for you probably is Thursday, 90% chance of rainfall there. For Philadelphia, you have low temperatures tonight at 46, high temperatures for tomorrow around 75, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 53. You're going to see fog, not only tonight, but tomorrow morning, tomorrow night, and Wednesday morning as well. So you're going to see patchy fog, maybe even some dense fog as you continue throughout the next couple of days. Now, rainfall will definitely be a bit of an issue Wednesday and Wednesday night. Thursday will come along as well, bringing in some rainfall. That threat of snowfall is no longer on the map anymore, so that's gone at least for now. And then for the most part, looks like rain is even likely as you move into Sunday night going into Monday. Chance of rainfall being up into the 70s. Now, your temperatures, they will continue to go down, 50s on Friday. We'll try to get back up into the 60s on Sunday, but Monday you drop back down to the 50s again. And severe weather and excessive rainfall, forgot to mention it, but that is also not expected at this time. And then finally for Duncan, Oklahoma, probably going to be one of the more active areas with low temperatures tonight at 65, high temperatures tomorrow at 83, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 55. Precipitation not expected for tonight, but showers are likely tomorrow, and showers are expected tomorrow night. In fact, you do have a chance for severe weather tomorrow. For Tuesday, March the 10th, 2026, you have a slight risk of severe weather. You have a 2% chance of tornadoes, and you have a level 1 hatch risk, which pretty much means that tornadoes are up to EF2 potential is there. It is there, so make sure that you are watching out for that. And then as you get into wind, you are up to a 15% risk, meaning scattered damaging wind gusts of up to 60 miles per hour is possible. And then you have another hatch risk, which means that you could potentially see wind gusts of up to close to 70, 75 miles per hour as you go into tomorrow with some of those storms. And then finally for hail, you have, again, a level 1 hatch risk with a scattered risk, meaning that scattered severe hail of up to an inch in diameter is possible. Some of that hail may be even up to 2 inches or greater. So that's a lot that you have to go through tomorrow. Just make sure that you are prepared for it and you have your severe weather stuff in place. Yeah, you have your tornado warning plan in place because tomorrow is going to be a pretty big day for you. And then for excessive rainfall for you, seems like you do have a chance of excessive rainfall tomorrow. Scattered flash flooding is possible there as well. So not only do you have to watch out for the severe weather aspect, but also for the flash flooding aspect as well. Now for your future, temperatures are going to go back down, 69 on Wednesday, 66 on Thursday, but then it's going to go up to 80 on Friday, 86 on Saturday, and then going to die right back down, 78 on Sunday, 62 on Monday. Rainfall as well seems like that it's going to be, for the most part, really just Tuesday through Wednesday. It's going to be a bit breezy during that time frame as well, with gusty winds of up to 20 to 30 miles per hour as you go throughout Tuesday and Wednesday. And that's all that I can see here throughout the entire 4 areas here. So let's go on and see what's going on throughout the entire U.S. weather news wise. Well, for the most part, looks like that scattered severe thunderstorms are forecasted Tuesday from the southern plains into the southern Great Lakes vicinity. Thunderstorms may also produce heavy to excessive rainfall that could pose a flooding threat from central Texas into southern Oklahoma and northern Missouri and all the way into southern Michigan. A heavy wintry mix is forecast for the Great Lakes into northern Maine. We already know the severe weather going on right now in Alabama and Georgia. Some fire weather potentially over there inside of the panhandle of Texas. Some breezy conditions going on up there inside of like Montana, Wyoming. Some blizzard-like conditions even possible in parts of Washington State as well. Parts of Washington State, there's blizzard warnings there. But the main thing obviously being severe weather. If you know anybody inside of the Chicago area, the Abilene, Texas area, the Aurora, Illinois area, Peoria, Springfield's included, going into other areas, Naperville, Illinois, let them know. They have enhanced risk of severe weather, which means that they have the highest risk for tomorrow. Over there, they have a 10% hatch risk of tornadoes for tomorrow. So like I said, anybody in those areas I just called out, let them know. And those aren't the only ones. Those are just the highest risk. You have the secondary area: Dallas, Indianapolis, Oklahoma City, Kansas City. We just talked about Duncan earlier. St. Louis is included in there. Fort Wayne's included in there. Wichita Falls is included in there. And then finally the green area: San Antonio, Detroit, Columbus, Austin, Texas, Memphis, Tennessee, Cleveland, Ohio being included. Pittsburgh being included in there as well. Milwaukee in there. Des Moines in there. Any of these areas, let them know severe weather is coming for them tomorrow. So they have to be aware about it. They have to make sure that they are prepared, because not only is there going to be a tornado threat, but a wind threat and a hail threat. Now, not every area is going to see all of that severe weather, obviously, but it's just good to make sure that they are prepared for it if you know anybody in those areas, to let them know. But that's all I have to say there. So let's go ahead and check out the top fans of the night for tonight. I'm going to count them up. I see 4, 5, that's 6, 7, that's 8, 9, 10, 11. And then I go down, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And then I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it was actually pretty close. It actually was with a good amount of people. About 4 people, I think, who are competing for that spot. But Mr. Chris was at number 1, my Aunt Lulu was at number 2, and then my Nana's at number 3. So congratulations to the 3 of y'all for being the top fans of the night for tonight. If you want to be a part of the top fans, you can by joining us here at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. And then also being here, being active, being a subscriber, because if you're not a subscriber, you can't type. And then also being active, being early. All of that will help you out. So let's go and give them a round of applause. So that's all I have to say here. Make sure that you tune in tomorrow morning for your Tuesday morning forecast update. We will be there talking about your Tuesday forecast update. And then also tune in tomorrow evening for your Tuesday evening forecast update. We'll be here same time for your Tuesday evening forecast update. Make sure if you have not hit the like button yet, go in and do so. Also hit the subscribe button. We're at 714, trying to get to 800. And then also make sure that you go in and hit the share button. Share with your friends, your family members, your acquaintances, people that you don't even talk to. It's free, and you can change your mind at any time. Before we go in and end this out real quick, we do have a couple of pictures. This one was from my Aunt Lula. She says, foggy morning this morning, or actually, there was nothing. But I can tell it's a foggy morning over where she is. This is the first picture. And then this is the second picture. So thank you so much for sending that in to us. And then that same thing says foggy morning this morning. So this is in San Antonio, Texas, right over here, not inside South Carolina. So here's the first picture. Here is the second picture right here, and then here's the third one. So thank you so much for these pictures. If you want to go in and send me a picture, you can by sending it to scweather360@gmail.com. Again, that is scweather360@gmail.com. I will be back tomorrow. Make sure you go in and hit those 2 buttons before you leave.